Okay, so this evening we are going to be learning the teachings of our Tzadok and this week's Parshat. This is the double Parshat, Nitzavim Vayelech, and so I want to talk about three things, three points that our Tzadok talks about. That Parshat Nitzavim. So Nitzavim Vayelech is the truth is that you see in the words, just in the name of the Parshas, Nitzavim means to stand straight, and Vayelech means and he went. So it's actually two opposite kind of motions, that two kind of opposite energies that sometimes you need to be able to be strong, you need to be able to be steadfast, nothing's going to move me, I'm very stubborn, I'm very in my ways, nothing's going to change me, and sometimes you have to be the opposite. And so the having these two parshas together is actually very fascinating, that to have to be able to balance between these two opposite energies of, first of all, being very set in my ways and very strong and very having deep roots, that in the very first chapter of Tehillim, so it talks about the difference between tzaddik and Rishaim, and it says that Rishaim is asher titfenu ruach, that the wind can just blow them away, and the tzaddikim, that it says the opposite, that the tzaddikim alehu lo yibo, that they keep on, they're steady, that all the winds in the world can come and they won't shake you, because you know what you're standing on. And that's really why we're learning Torah. The purpose of learning Torah is that we should have really good roots to be able to know why I'm doing what I'm doing, to really believe in what I'm doing, to really have a clarity of what's holding me, what is motivating me, why am I doing what I'm doing. And when you have that, so then nothing can move you, nothing can shake you. You're invincible. And so that's really what Nitzavim is all about. That having these deep roots, that nothing is going to blow you away. Okay, so Reb Tzadok brings an interesting midrash that it says that mipnei ma asa Moshe matzeva, that matzeva is coming from the word nitzavim, like to be standing strong. That why what was the purpose of this assembly? That he starts by saying atem nitzavim hayom, that you're all standing strong. That why did he make this assembly of making everybody, just noting that everybody is standing strong? Midas Moshe ladas Yeshua. That the reason is because this was actually a handover. This was a handover from the leadership of Moshe Rabbeinu to the leadership of Yeshua. That it's the very end of the parsha. It's the end of the Torah. This week's parsha, it's a double parsha, but it's the fourth to last and third to last parshas in the entire Torah. We're at the end of the year. Next week is Rosh Hashanah. It's that stresses me out, even though it's not supposed to. I should listen to some of my inspirational classes about this, and I'll be able to calm down. But we're at the end of the year. The end of the Torah is when Moshe Rabbeinu was dying, at the very end of the Torah. So that's when Moshe dies, and so Moshe was saying that right now the leadership is going from me to my successor, to Yeshua, and because the leadership is changing right now, so that's why it needs Nitzavim. That's why he tells the people that you need to be strong. So the Medrash says that Yeshua did the same thing before he died. He told them they need to be strong, and it says the Shmuel did the same thing. This is a thing of when things change. So that's when you need to have this idea of Nitzavim. Okay, Nitzavim means that you're standing upright, and standing upright, Rav Tzadok says, means that feeling very anchored, feeling very set in your ways, feeling that I know what's grounding me, and because I'm grounded, so then I'm not scared of change. Okay, so Rav Tzadok says that's specifically the reason why every year it's necessary to read this parsha before Rosh Hashanah. Okay, because Rosh Hashanah is something new. Okay, that he brings a medrash and says that really every Shabbos is something new, and every Rosh Chodesh is something new. That life is always new. Life is always new. That even if you don't realize it's new. I remember I remember I was once approaching, maybe it was my birthday, maybe it was approaching my birthday, and I was like feeling frustrated, like I felt like my life is like just going in circles, and it's something. It's a good thing to think about before Hashem also, because like a lot of people feel like every Rosh Hashanah, like they're just like they're saying the same things to themselves, and they're just like feeling like their life is going nowhere, and so I remember one year, like I felt like I was going nowhere. I felt like I was just working on telling myself the same thing every year, and I was at the Kotel, and there was a Rav there. His name is Rabbi Yaakov Adis. Okay, Rabbi Yaakov Adis is an interesting guy. You know who he is? No? He's interesting. He's very fascinating. Rabbi Yaakov Adis. Okay, he dresses like he's homeless. He wears these like ripped clothes, sometimes he wears shoes, like he wears ripped shoes, like sometimes he wears just like Crocs, and he's always like he's in a different world. There's lots of interesting stories about his life. Anyway, so he's alive. You can talk to him, and so I walked over to him and said, Rabbi, I feel frustrated. I feel like it's almost my birthday, and I feel like every year I'm just like doing the same thing. He told me something very interesting. He told me that the mere fact that you're a year older, that means that something brand new. Even if you think that you're going through the same challenges that you had last year, but the mere fact that you're actually been in this world for another year, so now it's something brand new. And like every single day, every single experience that we have is something actually very, very brand new. Even if you think that like I've already been there, there's no such thing as I've already been there. Like it's a general thing in Jewish thought. Like the way the Jewish calendar works is that the time works in a spiral. I mean, we do have these stops. We do have these things that are like that we like. There's a Pesach every year. There's a Rosh Hashanah every year. The Yom Kippur every year, but it's something brand new. Even though so that it's like a spiral. That like we have these stops along the way that are the same in every time, but yet every time that we go around, we're one rung higher. So it's a different reality. They have similarities, but it's something brand new. So every time that you're living, every year that you're going through these cycles, so the fact that you're a year older, so that makes it something brand new. The fact that yesterday I was trying to wake up on time is nothing to do with the fact that today I'm trying to wake up on time. It's something that like I've never. This is a brand new experience. It's a brand new test, and like everything in life, everything like the mere fact that it's a brand new day means that it's a brand new experience. Okay, so now that's true. That's true on every single day, even if you don't realize it, even if it doesn't look like it, and all the more so is it true with a new year. Okay, that right now that part of our preparations for the fact that next week is going to be a new year is that we're opening ourselves up to a new reality. Okay, and there's the nothing that we are used to is going to continue like that. That everything's going to be completely brand new. So, specifically, I was thinking like there's a skula that I spoke of this on a different occasion. That the skula from Vayelech that he says that there's a special thing that the first night of Rosh Hashanah to say the entire book of Tehillim twice. Okay, this is something that he has this crazy story about this guy that for 20-something years he was married and didn't have children, and one year Erev Rosh Hashanah, so he got this anonymous letter in his mailbox that I want you to know that this special segula that if you say the entire Tehillim twice, the first night of Rosh Hashanah, so it's a special segula that your answers will be answered, your prayers will be answered, and so this Rav, he did this, and then that year he had a kid, and then he told the secret to this group of there was 30 boys that were, oh gosh, hello, that there's 30 boys that they were all they've been trying to trying to get married for like over 10 years, and they're all like in the 30s, like late 30s, and he told them this story, and they all decided that they're going to do it. And that year, 29 out of 30 of these boys, they got engaged. It's like incredible school. So I was thinking to myself that I have a son that has a very poor eyesight. He had a brain tumor 2 years ago that he lost a lot of his eyesight, and so last year I did this, and so like, the year's not over yet, but like so far, like he still is like his eyesight is still extremely poor. So I was thinking, like, do I want to do it this year again? And I was thinking, like, last year, so we know that last year had a lot of dinim. Last year was like a very strict judgment, that like we had the most horrendous things that we could have imagined in this past year. So apparently last year was like a special kind of judgment, or like a lack of compassion for whatever. Hashem has his reasons why last year needed to be such a horrible year. But last year, like, there was a certain judgment, a certain lack of compassion there. So this year something brand new. Like this year, like everything is changing. So like when I was thinking, like, do I want to try it again? So like, of course I want to try it again. Like this year is something absolutely brand new. Maybe the only reason why it didn't work last year is because of this, because last year was a straight crazy amount of judgment. But like this year is something brand new. So every year is something. Every year is something is like brand new. So we need to make ourselves aware of the fact that whatever we're used to is irrelevant, and next year is a brand new reality, right? And the thing that we need to inspire ourselves coming into this fact that this new reality is Atem Nitzavim Hayam Kolchem, that you're standing strong, and be ready for change. That things are going to go backwards. Things like nothing is something you can rely on, because as of next Thursday, so the world is brand new reality. Okay? This is something like that you need to, like, we need to really, really internalize for life, that everything is going to change. I tell people, like, regarding marriage, that the first two rules of marriage are: rule number one, that he won't change, or she won't change. That never say it's okay. He promised me that he's going to stop smoking as soon as we get married. He will not change. Okay, he will not change. There's no such thing. That rule number two: be ready. They will change. Whatever. Like, what was this? This is not the person I married. Like, yeah, that's life. That's like people evolve, people change, and love is about accepting the people, whatever they're going to turn out like, and so this is true regarding life itself. This is true, like, on many levels, that just everything is going to change, and we have to just be aware of the fact that we're ready for anything. We're ready for anything. So what is the thing that's making us ready for anything? So that's what Moshe Rabbeinu was telling us. Atem Nitzavim Hayam Kolchem. Like, again, what the Midrash is saying, that the reason why he says Atem Nitzavim Hayam Kolchem, the reason why he's saying that you're standing steadfast, you're standing strong. The reason why you need to be strong is because things are about to change. Because he was about to die, and like he was one kind of leader, Yeshua was going to be a different kind of leader. This is true on, like, whatever level it is, like whether it's a spiritual thing, whether it's a practical thing. They're different personalities. They have different ways of leading a nation. So right now you have to be ready for a new reality. And what is the preparation for having a new reality? Is being strong in your beliefs, being strong that even to not say that I'm dependent on this kind of inspiration, this kind of leader, that I can only be a good Jew if I have things the way I'm used to. Okay, I know people that they're ridiculously dependent on certain things that make them comfortable. I know somebody that he has the kind of melodies that he's used to, the kind of melodies that he was brought up with, that he's willing to walk for like an hour and a half to go to a shul that has the same, just grow up, that was what you were a kid, now you're an adult, now you can do something new, and it's okay, and like this dependency on what we're used to is something. It's a sign of weakness. It's a sign of like it's a person that needs. I can only be successful if things are what I'm ready for. So that means that you don't really believe in anything. That you're actually not a self-sufficient person. That you need a certain thing. There's a so there's a Rav. He's a Rav in Esses Torah. That his name is Tzimai Zilverberg. He's a Rabbi of mine, and so I remember he was talking about how that some people that where I can learn I can do whatever I'm supposed to do irrelevant to the situation. So right now whether or not there's people into it, whether there are people into it, without people, whether I'm in the mood, if not in the mood, if I have energy, if I don't have energy, whether I don't need things to be the way that I like them to be for me to be able to do what I'm supposed to do. There's some people that as long as everything is I got enough sleep, and there's good vibes, and my best friends are going, and my and and there's there's good food as long and it's things that aren't going to attack me so much. I'm going to feel then I'm willing to then I'm willing to be my best self. Hello, just live, just let go. You don't need these things. Why are you so dependent? Why you're a person. You're a follower, or you're actually doing what you believe in. So Nitzavim, when he says Atem Nitzavim Hayom Kolchem, that you're standing strong. The definition of standing strong is that these times, because it's a time of change, because it's a time of switching. So that's when Moshe Rabbeinu says that you need to be strong. What's it mean strong? It means to have roots. It means to know that why I'm doing what I'm doing, that nothing can stop me, and I'm really standing behind what I'm doing, and that I'm doing it because I believe in it. Okay? I'm not dependent on other people, I'm not dependent on situations, that I'm doing this because I've got it. Okay? And so this is really a beautiful message to go into Rosh Hashanah with, that Rosh Hashanah is that I'm ready for a brand new existence. I'm not dependent on what I'm used to. I'm not dependent on I'm fed up with. I'm sick of what I'm used to. I'm ready for something brand new, and I'm actually ready for a new reality, and I'm embracing that, and I'm not scared of it. I'm not scared that this new reality is going to mess with me. There's a normal thing called a fear of the unknown, and leaving your comfort zone. And Rosh Hashanah is inviting us to, whether we like it or not, we're going to be leaving our comfort zone. That Hashem promises us that next year is going to be something you never dreamed of. And that's why before Rosh Hashanah, this week before Rosh Hashanah, so is the time to tell ourselves that I am ready for something brand new, and I don't expect next year to have the same routine as I had this year. I don't expect it to have the same people around me. I don't expect it to have the same challenges, and I am ready for surprises. That's being strong and ready for anything. On a very extreme level, I once thought to myself, person who's living with God, so they're actually ready for anything. They're because really that's what life is all about. It's we're to be ready for surprises, to be ready for new experiences, and to know how to deal with these new experiences. So I remember I was once walking down the street, and in Jerusalem they have this beautiful thing that when you map the floor, so it goes onto the people walking in the streets, right? makes sense, right? So it was their fault for not looking up before they walked by, right? So you don't know what I'm talking about? Okay. What? Do you? Do you know what I'm talking about? That they have these. When you mop your floor, when you do sponge, it's called. So they have these holes in your how do you say it? Merpeset, balconies. You have this hole in the balcony, and the water just shoots out of the hole in the balcony. And so I was once walking down the street, and I saw that out of nowhere, just like this like huge stream of disgusting water just came falling down. Baruch Hashem was not on me, but I was thinking to myself, no, that a person who's really connected with God, so even if like this disgusting sponge of water would fall on his head, he would be ready for that. He would not be like, how dare you? Like, okay, I'm ready for the unexpected. No, and if you know that life is full of surprises, so then you know that okay, I guess right now my test is that Hashem wants to know: am I ready to not get upset when I have sponge of water all over me? And that's like and like a person who's steadfast in the fact that I know that life is about challenges. Life is about like being my best self. So like I don't need the comfort of what I'm used to. Like even in the most basic way. There's a very deep. It's a pretty intense story, but there's I'll give you the condensed version. That these two guys that they were working together, that they were taken to Auschwitz, and so in Auschwitz the Nazis, at some point they told all the Jews that they need to, like, they're all dirty and they're all contaminated, and they need to dip themselves into this like bath of acid. And it was a torturous thing. They just needed to, and they forced them to dunk their head in, and so they all went in. It was painful, and like they just did as quickly as possible, and they ran out. And there's one guy that he dumped his head in, and like he didn't come out. And so the guy behind him, so like he thought like, oh my gosh, like this guy, like he wants to die, he wants to kill himself, and so he ran after him and he pulled him out. Like he was like almost unconscious. Like he was pulled him out, and this guy, like from this experience of pulling the guy out, his hands were in the acid for so long that he lost all his hair forever, like whatever, and so afterwards, like he told him, no, you can't do this. We have to be strong. We can't give up. And he told him, like, you don't understand. You don't understand. Like I'm not giving up. That wasn't what was going on. Let me tell you what my thought was. Like you're right. I should have gotten out. But let me tell you what I was thinking. I came to the concentration camp, and I came with my luggage. I came with my clothes, and like I thought like they told us we're just like relocating, and so the first thing you do is they take away my luggage, take away all the stuff I brought. So, oh my gosh, I lost everything. In one moment, I lost everything. I had been hand picking of the things, like this is what I want to save, this is what I'm willing to give up, like this is the things that I want to live my entire life with, and they just took it all. I lost everything. And then, after they took my luggage, so then they took me to the next room, and he said, take off your clothes. And then I think to myself, oh my gosh, I thought that I had lost everything. But now, really I lost everything. And then after they took off my clothes and they gave me the prison clothes, so then they had the thing with like they were taking out their metal teeth, their gold teeth, and he starts taking out, and I'm sitting there, and I'm feeling this Russian doctor taking out my gold teeth, and like I'm thinking like, whoa, I thought I lost everything, but now I really lost everything. And then when I thought that there's nothing left to take, so then they told me to dunk into this acid bath and have the acid eat away at my skin. So like, now I really lost everything. And that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Like as I was dipping into the acid, and then I had this thought that that there's one thing that they can never take, and that is that I have my emunah. I have my emunah, and that there's I have my beliefs, and I know that who I really am. I know what I'm doing in this world, and they can never touch that. That's actually untouchable. And when I thought that, then I actually felt like so empowered. I felt so invincible that like they can't touch. They can kill me. They can take everything, and they can never touch my emunah. They can never touch my beliefs. And it was just such a like sweet thought that like I like that thought. I just that's when I was down. When you saw me, you thought I was killing myself. It wasn't that I was killing myself. It was just I was just reveling in the beauty of the fact that I have my emunah, and they can never touch that. Okay, so this is a very it's a very extreme example, but this is what it means to be nitzavim. When the Torah says "Atem nitzavim ayom kolchem," to be strong, nothing can move me, nothing can shake me, nothing can topple me over. So it means to be very grounded. It means to believe in myself to the point that I am invincible. To know that I'm not dependent on anything, anyone, any situations. That I'm here, and so this is really what the best way to go into Rosh Hashanah is, with this knowledge, with this clarity of who I am, and that what I believe in is something that nothing can sway me, nothing, and I don't need anybody, I don't need anything, and it is what it is. I am who I am, and I'm invincible. Okay, so this is the first message. You know, it really connects to an idea of the Baal Shem Tov, that the Baal Shem Tov said there's famous pasuk that it's here. It's a lot of shows. They print a pasuk that Shivisi Hashem L'Nagdi Samid. Yes, up there. That Shivisi Hashem L'Nagdi Samid. So Shivisi L'Nagdi Samid. So literally that it's a pasuk from Tehillim. That David Malach says that I imagine Hashem in front of me constantly. I need mashveh. I imagine. I place Hashem in front of me constantly. The Baal Shem Tov, however, he has an alternative commentary on this pasuk that says Shivisi Hashem. So the Baal Shem Tov says it's talking about a certain state of mind called hishtavut. Hishtavut means that it's all the same. It's all the same. And what it means, what Baal Shem Tov says, what hishtavut means is that it doesn't matter if things are good, it doesn't matter if things are bad, it doesn't matter what happens to me, that I'm always in the same state of mind, that I'm always with the understanding that it's all from Hashem. So everything is a message, everything is a challenge, and so like there's no reason to get all excited when things are good and to get all down when things are bad, because everything's the same. Everything is a message from God, that if Hashem is giving you tons of money, so then don't get so like all excited, like oh my gosh, just like you should be thinking, wow, what's Hashem trying to tell me? Right? I have to obviously now I have to use my money, and I have to use my money in a bigger way. Now it's a challenge, it's a responsibility, and if I lost all my money, so don't get down. It's like oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Now it's a challenge. They're like, what is Hashem telling me? And this is there was this Rav who lived down the street in Rechavia, of Gustman. Of Gustman. He was the Rosh Yeshiva of a yeshiva called Nitzavim. And so he has an interesting story. He was in the Holocaust, and before he was in the Holocaust, he was a Rav, and he was a Rav in the Beis Din of Chaim Ozer Grzinski. Chaim Ozer Grzinski was the biggest Torah authority alive, and so he was. So Chaim Eiser looked at him as somebody so wise that he took him to be on his Bezdin with him, and not only that, but he taught the students that when he would walk into the room, Chaim Eiser would stand up for him to give him honor. Okay, so when he was 18 years old, he was the youngest dayan, he was the youngest judge on this Bezdin, and like the biggest Torah authority in the world is standing up for him at 18 years old. Okay, and then later in life, so he experienced the Holocaust, and he told the students that the Nazis came into his house, and they shot his wife, and he was holding his baby. They shot his baby in front of him. He shot his baby in his arms, and he escaped with one daughter, and he ran into the forest. He somehow survived. He was like, when he was in the forest, he joined up with the partisans, and he was very proud of the fact that he was able to kill some of the Nazis, and he was like, it was all crazy life, and so he told the students later that between these two polar opposites, that like on the one hand that I was like at the top of the world, that the biggest Torah person in the world was standing up for me, and which for him that was a big thing, you know. Now there's a story that a guy was in Bnei Brak, and he had this like he bought this really expensive car, and he went over to Reb Chaim Kanievsky, and he said, Rabbi, I just bought this fancy car, and I'm scared that people are going to be jealous of me, and I don't want to cause like ayin hara. I don't want to feel like people are going to give me the evil eye because they're jealous of me. Like, well, what should I do? So he tells them, tell me something. How many times have you learned chess? So we didn't like get the connection. Told him, I never really finished chess. So he says, okay. Maybe you have like one tractate that you're like an expert in that tractate. You've like learned it like 100 times, or like whoever has a question, like that you're the guy that they can ask. And that says, no, not that I'm aware of. So Chaim Kanievsky is like, he laughs. He says, don't worry, nobody here is jealous of you. So like in Rav Gustman's eyes, like the Torah giant of the world, that is what greatness is. That is like, and like the greatest greatness in the world. Looks at me and he stands up for me, like that. He was at the top of the world, and at the opposite extreme, so like he had the most horrible disgrace that his kids are being murdered in front of him, and so he said, like between these two polar opposites, like nothing can faze me. Like I've seen the best of the best. I've seen the worst of the worst. So now nothing can like nothing can freak me out anymore, because I've seen it all. And that's really what Hishtabus means. Like when the Baal Shem Tov is saying the Shavisi Hashem Nagin Summit, to be ready for anything is to have this midah that like nothing is going to freak me out. Why is nothing going to freak me out? Because I'm Nitzav. Because Nitzavim ayam kuchen. Because we're steadfast. Because we're very strong in our ways. Because we know what we're doing with our lives, and this is the thing that's giving us grounding. This is the thing that's giving us an anchor in life, and this is like the secret to new beginnings. The secret to having a new year is the fact that I'm not scared of the unknown. Okay, so this is the first point. This is the first message that Rav Tzadok wants to share with us about Nitzavim. This is the idea of that, what it means to be steadfast. Now, another point that he brings on Nitzavim before we get to Vayelech. So in the Parshat Nitzavim, so there's a pasuk about tshuva. A lot of pasukim talks about tshuva, and it says about like improving ourselves, about becoming the best version of ourselves. And this pasuk says, "Umal Hashem Elokecha es levavcha ves levav zarecha." Hashem will circumcise your heart. Hashem will circumcise your heart. Right? So what? Ouch. Right? So one of the things about this pasuk about circumcising your heart. What's it mean? What's it mean to have a circumcision is like when something is closed off and you want it to open it up, right? So you can have a person with a heart that's closed off means that my heart is just cold. It's like it doesn't let anything in. I don't let anything pierce my heart, and I just like. So
you're talking like to pierce the heart, like with an arrow?
Metaphorically.
Yeah. But when you say, what does that mean?
It means for something to touch me, for something to move me, for something to inspire me, for something to really shake me up. Okay? And so the Umal Hashem Lekachas Levavcha means that the basis of tshuva is I should have a heart that feels things. Be a heart that like I shouldn't be static. I shouldn't be a person who is just like it is what it is. Like I am who I am. And so there's a famous teaching that in this pasuk that when it says es levavcha ve'es levav zarecha, so these words es levavcha ve'es levav, so then the first letter of these words spells out Elul, right? Et levavcha ve'et levav, it spells out Elul. So there's a teaching for the Baal Torah that this is the essence of Elul. That Elul is about having the circumcision of our hearts, so to speak, that to be able to feel, to be able to be open, to have new things really reach us. So what do we do? What do we do for this? So Sfardim have slichot, and Ashkenazim because of this hint, because of this pasuk. So Ashkenazim have the custom that we blow shofar for the whole month of Elul. So what's the purpose of the shofar? So he brings a pasuk that it says that v'haya b'yamahu. We say this in Rosh Hashanah. V'haya b'yamahu yitaka b'shofar gadol. That on that day, in the final, when Mashiach comes, so Hashem is going to blow with a big shofar. Uvo ha'ovdim be'eretz Ashar v'hanidachim be'eretz Mitzrayim. That two people are going to come. The people who are ovdim, people who are lost in Assyria, and the people who are nidach, the people who are cast away in Egypt. Okay, so you have two kinds of people that the shofar is supposed to wake them up. That the people who are lost, the people who are cast away. Okay, so he says that who are these two kinds of people? So you have one kind of person, the person who's lost. So that means that this is a reference to like Ashur. Ashur was like the first destruction of the first temple. So it was from Ashur, from Assyria, and this refers to assimilation. The person who forgets that he's a Jew. Okay, being avud, being lost. A lost Jew means a person that forgets that he's a Jew. That's the first person that the guy that he doesn't know that he's Jewish. So that when he hears the shofar, he's suddenly going to remember. He's suddenly going to remember that he's Jewish.
Could it also work for someone who
Finally, somebody said something.
Spiritually lost, not only like actually forgets that they're a Jew or doesn't know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Like, on everybody on their level, to a certain degree. Like I was about to say, that to a certain degree, we all forget that we're Jewish. To a certain degree, like every time that we make a bad decision, every time that if we would always remember that we're Jewish and what it means to be a Jew, so then we would be living perfect lives. So our problem is that we a little bit forget who we are. Okay, this is the first problem, the first slumber that the shofar is trying to wake up is to forget who we are. This is called avud. The concept of being avud, being lost in Jerusalem. This is being lost in Jerusalem is that a person who doesn't know who they are, doesn't remember that they're Jewish, doesn't remember that they have a mission, doesn't remember that they're just not another sorority sister, not another accountant, not another just guy. There's so much that you just think you're just another guy. You forget who you are. Okay, that's what it means to be avud. Okay, and then there's this other category, this other camp, and that's the nidachim. Nidach is a person who's cast away. So Tzadok says that this is another kind of person. That you have a person that it's not that they don't know who they are. It's just that they know how much they've messed up. And he says that was what was happening in Egypt. In Egypt, so we were very, very sinful. We were very, very idolatrous. That we were very, very much involved in Egyptian culture, their gods, and so we didn't. It says they actually didn't forget they were Jewish. They were culturally Jewish. They kept their names, they kept their clothing, but they kept the language. But they were still into. They when it comes to like doing what am I supposed to do as a Jew? So like they didn't really follow those laws. And so this is another kind of slumber that a person can fall into. It's not that I don't know who I am. It's not that I don't know what it means to be a Jew. It's just that I know very well that I don't do that. I haven't been doing that. I don't like doing that. And I think that like God's probably given up on me. God's probably it's like I've reached the point of no return. That like it's too late. I've just messed with my soul so much that it's just hopeless.
Does this also include people who do they have the ability to learn Torah? Because when you're slaves in Egypt, they don't even have the ability or the time to do so.
I'm talking about everything. I'm talking everything in Judaism.
Did they have the ability to do those things?
No, they didn't. But even the things that they could do, they thought that why should I bother? My soul is already burned. My soul is already gone. Like I've already reached the point of no return. That like who cares? How could it help to do a little mitzvah if like you have no idea what horrible sins I've been doing for the past 5 years? Like my soul is extinguished. It's just like sorry. Like I know who I am. I know who I'm supposed to be, but it's just too late. It's just like my soul is already extinguished. Okay, so that's what it means. That's what it means that nidach in the Eretz Mitzrayim, that person feels cast away. Like it's not that I forgot who I am. Okay, so he says that this is like what the shofar is all about, is to take these two kinds of people, and these two kinds of people, we are both of these kinds of people. We are a little bit avud. We are a little bit that we sometimes forget who we are, and that we forget that we're princes and princesses. We forget that God cares about us. We forget that God has a very deep interest in everything that we do, and that to wake us up. And the shofar has this ability to really remind us of who we really are. And we had this, that every single one of us has this place inside of our heart that we forget who we are. And there's another place inside of us that we also have this poison called being nidach, called being cast away. That we're convinced that it's too late. We're convinced that doing holy stuff, that's for holy people, and like I'm not one of those. I'm just a regular guy. I'm just I can't expect to reach any spiritual heights because it's just like my soul is already contaminated. And the shofar is first of all to remind us of who we are, to remind us of what our potential is, and it's also to remind us that there's no such thing as being contaminated. There's no such thing as your spark is extinguished. That part of being a Jew is that we have something so holy, so pure, so invincible inside of us that there is no soul, there's no sin in the world that can mess with it. And this is something that we say every morning, that we say Elokai neshama shenatata bi taharahi. That we say every morning that God, that the that the soul that you gave me is pure. And when we're saying that it's pure, we're saying that it doesn't matter what I did, it doesn't matter how many mistakes I made, it doesn't matter what I ate, it doesn't matter what I did, who I hang out with, and that there's a place in my soul that is completely invincible. It's completely, it can't become impure. It's just like soap.
So why does it matter how many affairs we do? We're always going to be pure and perfect.
Because you have to listen to to the rules. You have to follow your mission. You have to be. It's not going to extinguish your fire. If anything, the opposite. Like if it would be game over, that would be like a certain comfort. But it's never game over. You constantly have the ability to jump back. So you're always being called upon. Okay, it's time to jump back.
But if the shofar is so useful in waking us up, then why do we do it the whole year round and just
Why don't we do?
the whole year round?
Oh, because then we get used to it.
I suppose they can really if the sound of the shofar really awakens something within us, and also if we get used to it, then why do we do it now and not wait for Mashiach to just have it done then?
Oh, because who wants to wait for Mashiach? We want to change now. The more that we get better now, the more the quicker Mashiach is going to come. But I think that you're right. Theoretically, if you would have a powerful enough shofar, it would be able to wake us up the whole year. But if we would just be hearing it every year, then it would be meaningless.
Is your kippah meaningless?
What was that if it keeps on?
My kippah is meaningless, but other.
Also, didn't we just
Nanach kippah.
if we just learned through the Bensar and Mora that we're not you can always recover, why do we need the repetition now with the blowing of the shofar?
I'm sorry.
Don't we learn from the Bensar and Mora that we're not you can always recover? You're never too far gone. So why do we need?
That's precisely my point. That you
Right,
can
so why do we need the repetition of it again? Why again mention it now?
Not mentioning that's what shofar is. Shofar has the ability to remind you that to take a person that had given up, a person that felt that God doesn't care about me because I'm a loser. God doesn't care about me. Religion is nice for the holy people, but I'm just not. Because look at my records. It's there. It's on my skin. That all the sins I did, it's on my permanent record, and nothing can erase that. So it's not for me. And the shofar reminds a person that there is no such thing as it's not for you. That Hashem is always, always waiting for us, and that there's this place inside of us that's completely pure, that's completely just ready to just jump back 1,000 levels at once, and no sin that we ever did can take that away. And so this is what the shofar is. Shofar is to remind us that we are never hopeless. We're never hopeless. We're never gone. We're never lost, and it's never too late. Okay. Okay. Now the last point before we finish, is about what Vayelech means. And Vayelech. And it's the second parsha that we have this week. So it says Vayelech Moshe V'daber is called very ma'elu. And it says that he went. It says he went. It's a very strange thing. It's it doesn't say where he went. It says that he said something, but it's really, really weird. It's a really weird pasuk to say that he went. Okay, so the Zohar asks, everybody asks, where'd he go? Just skip that. Skip that he went. I guess he went to the microphone. He went to the middle of the people. What do you mean he went? It's a very weird pasuk, and especially weird to name the parsha after it. It's the strangest pasuk, the strangest words, and that's what the parsha is all about. So Tzadok says that it's saying something very, very deep, and that is that there's a pasuk in Kohelet that says ki holech adam beit alamo, that a person is always walking towards his destiny. That when it says holech, that we're always going somewhere, and it says elsewhere that this is the difference between a human being and an angel. That angels, so they stay in the same spot. They don't grow. There's not just concept is growing. They don't have free choice. They are what they are. And human beings, by nature, are people that grow. Okay, and this is what it says. The pasuk says in Zechariah that v'nasati lacha mahalchim ben ha'imdim la'elam, that Hashem tells Zechariah that I will give you mahalchim, I'll give you the ability to move between the angels. They're called oimdim. They're called they stay put, but people are always moving. People are they're going up, going down, and so the everything that we go every day in our lives. So we're always changing. We're always moving. We're always going up or going down, and so the Vayelech Moshe is like this, that this was the ability to be a human being is the ability to change, the ability to leave your last situation and become something new. So a person that's not able to change, so then they're not ready to live. So now this is the very last day of Moshe Rabbeinu's life. So now it was Vayelech. This is the final Vayelech. He was finally reaching his last step. This was literally his last step. So this is Vayelech. He finally made it. Like, this is a joke. Like, what do you tell somebody on their 120th birthday? Have a nice day. like you're there. You're like, that's it. There is no more. So that the Vayelech Moshe means like he finally made it. He finally got there. So this is, and because life is all about moving. So once you're Vayelech Moshe means this is the last time. This is the last time that he moved. This is the last time that he changed. The last time that he grew. So that's why he says that after this Vayelech, what's the first thing he says? Lo uchal od latzet v'lavo. That I can't come and go anymore. So what does he mean? I can't come and go anymore? Like literally, what the pasuk means is that like it sounds like he's saying like I don't have the energy to be your leader, but he says that really what it means is lo uchal od latzet v'lavo is that I've outlived my growth. So what do you do when you outlive your growth? You die, and that's it. It's over. So this Vayelech Moshe is telling us that the definition of a human being is a person that's moving, and this is a very important thing to remember. This is the biggest enemy. The biggest enemy in life is complacency. Is just being happy. Somebody just. I was at a wedding on Sunday, right? I was at a wedding on Sunday, and somebody came over to me, and he said, "Rabbi, I have a rabbi question for you." Sounds like he doesn't talk to rabbis a lot, and he says, people when like I was brought up religious, modern Orthodox, whatever, and like I basically like I've stayed that way. He's like 30-something years old, and like I'm the same as I always was, and people when I tell them that, people like they sometimes they hold it against me. It's like how could it be that you never became more religious, less religious? Like what's wrong with you that you just stayed the same? And he asked me like, are they right? Is there something wrong with me that I stay the same? Like is there I thought that like Judaism is supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. So if it's comfortable, why should I change? So I told him that there's something. It's a very beautiful question, and there's something very very deep in this question, and that is that it's not that like of course there's nothing wrong with the fact that you didn't stop being religious. There's nothing like you don't have to do anything dramatic in your level of observance, but what they mean is that most searching, intelligent, mature individuals, so they're growth oriented. And what does it mean to be growth oriented? It means that I constantly ask myself, how can I become a better person? And they're not complacent with the way they are. And generally speaking, so if a person is constantly asking themselves, how can I become a better person? Is this working for me? So generally speaking, they find like there's different elements of their life that are not working for them at the time, and because they want to grow, so something's going to change. And so really, what these people that raise eyebrows when you tell them that you stay the same, so what they're really raising their eyebrows at is because it sounds like you're saying that I'm not a growth oriented person, and it turns out that I was actually right, that he told me that, wow, I never actually thought that being growth oriented is an important value. I always knew that I need to make the world into a better place, but I never thought that I need to make myself into the best version of myself. And so this was like I hope it was a eye-opening conversation for him. That I told him, like, think about it. Like I told my students that, like, Adam Harishon, like when Adam was created, so he had a mission. There was no make the world into a better place. That his entire mission was to complete himself, to perfect himself. That a very critical part of what we're in this world for is to perfect ourselves, is to make ourselves into the best us that we can be. It's not just like before we make the world into a better place, we need to make ourselves into, like, of course I'm the biggest proponent of caring about Klal Yisrael, but it doesn't mean that you should forget about yourself. It doesn't mean that you don't have a mission just to make yourself into the best you. So this is what it means that Vayelech Moshe is that life is about growing. Life is about finding something new about myself, improving, trying to tweak all of the things that need tweaking, and to never be satisfied with my old self. Rabbi Nachman said about himself that if I'm going to, he was intense. Everything he said. He would say that the way I'm going to serve Hashem today is going to be the same way that I served Hashem yesterday. So just don't bother. Just don't bother. It's okay. If the way I'm going to serve you today is the same as yesterday, so it's okay. I don't have to wake up. Like I'm not interested. I'm not interested in living the life that I already lived. If it's not brand new, so who needs it? Okay, and this is like Rabbi Nachman said. He said it, there's a crazy story that Labiyut, that before he died, he told the students that after I pass away, so if you're looking for me in heaven, so my chamber is the chamber which is opposite the chamber of Rabbi Achim Bazhabush. That was his cousin, but my chamber is the one where the colors are constantly changing, like a disco kind of room. So that's what, like, in the world to come. So that his chamber is the chamber that the colors are always changing. Okay, there's never a dull moment. Everything is constantly renewal, and that's what life is all about. Life is about constant change. And that's what it means. That's what it means, Vayelech Moshe. And one second, the crazy thing is that Tzadok says that sometimes that you feel like you're going down, and the truth is that you're just going forward. You're just going forward. There's no such thing as going down. There's always going forward, and that's what it means that Sheva Yipol Tzadik V'Kam. There's a pasuk that says that the tzaddik falls 7 times and he gets up. So I heard recently an interesting thing. It says Sheva Yipol Tzadik V'Kam, that the last letter of these words is Amalek. This is Amalek. That Amalek, that the forces of evil, they tell you that every time that you're falling, so they tell you that, look, I told you so. You just don't have what it takes. Look, you fell. The fact that you fell, that proves that you're a loser. I always told you you were a loser. So did your parents. And like, why don't you believe me? Just give it up. Give it up. You just don't have what it takes. And that's Amalek. But really, Sheva Yipol Tzadik V'Kam is that every time that we fall, it's just getting us ready for our next level. And there's no such thing as moving backwards. It's just a dance. It's that Sheva Yipol Tzadik V'Kam is that life is all about ups and downs, and that's every time that we're moving, so we're being alive. Okay? So Vayelech Moshe is that to embrace the fact that life is full of ups and downs, like they say, like in a heart EKG machine, if it's going up and down, that means you're alive. If it goes straight, that means you're dead. Okay, that life, to embrace the fact that life is going to have ups and downs, and to know that that's the way we're supposed to be, that's the way we're created, and everything that happens to us is all part of a journey that's going to have a happy ending. It's always we're going to, as long as we keep on getting up, as long as we know that this is part of where we're going. So bless us all that we should be able to have a happy journey, to know that even the downs are really ups, that there's no such thing as falling, that it's just part of our story. And this is Vayelech Moshe, and this is that, to know that everywhere we go, so we're always moving forward. Okay, l'chaim.